Hi everyone! In this video, we will perform and interpret results of a hypothesis test for the mean, where the standard deviation for the population is unknown. A hospital administrator wants to determine whether the average cost of a patient's stay exceeds $4,000. The administrator randomly selects 10 patient bills and records the total cost for each patient's stay. The amount in dollars of money billed for the hospital stay is given. Use a graphing calculator to conduct a one-mean hypothesis test at the 5% significance level to determine if the average cost per patient is more than $4,000. Where we are doing a hypothesis test, we should identify the null and alternative hypotheses. The null hypothesis is that the average patient stay is exactly $4,000, so the average equals 4,000. The administrator has an alternative claim that the mean is more than $4,000. We were also given a 5% significance level that we need to note that alpha equals 0.05. It helps to visualize what our hypothesis test is looking for. So let's draw a normal curve where the average is $4,000. And we have an alternative hypothesis that says mu is greater than 4,000. Greater than are numbers to the right. It's also pointing to the right, so we know we have a right-tailed test. And since the significance level is 0.05, we know the area under the curve is 0.05, which identifies our rejection region. Which means over here is our fail to reject region. We need to find two things, our test statistic and the p-value. To do that, we can use our calculator and enter the data collected by the hospital administrator. So let's open our calculator to enter our data. To do that, we'll press Stat and Edit, and we'll edit the first list. You'll see I've already entered the data. However, if your data is incorrect, you can go up and then clear out the whole list and press Enter. Mine is correct, so I'm just going to press down. And it's a good idea to double check for any typos or it'll mess up your calculations. The last one on there is 10, and we have 10 data points that were given to us, so we know we have all of the data entered. We can press second quit to go back to the home screen, or we can press Stat since we're doing a test. We're going to arrow over to the tests. And since we don't have the population standard deviation, we're going to do a t-test. So we can press 2, or we can just arrow down to the t-test. We don't have the stats, but we have the original data. So we're going to arrow over to the data and press Enter to select. We were told the mean is 4,000. And the list is list 1. If you don't have list 1 there, you can put second 1 for list 1. The frequency remains 1. And our alternative hypothesis is greater than. So we need to arrow over and select the greater than. And then moving down so that we can calculate. And this will give us our test statistic and our p-value. Let's write these down. The test statistic is 0.6, and let's round it to 2 decimal places. And the p-value, let's also round it to 2 decimal places, is 0.26. We don't have a critical value in which we can compare the test statistic, but we do have the p-value, which is 0.2. So this has more area under the curve than the alpha or the rejection region, so it's over here. When our p-value is larger than alpha, it ends up in the fail to reject zone. So our conclusion is to fail to reject the null. If we want to interpret this in the context of the hypothesis test, We could say at the 5% significance level, there is not sufficient evidence to support the claim that the average cost of the hospital stay is more than $4,000. And now we're all done.